don't you think?
I apologize for any inconvenience, but this could not wait.
Isidora?
Mr. President.
Raul? Brother? All right, Isidoro, shall we get this started?
Of course. Are you ready, sir?
Go ahead.
As you know, Gorbachev was elected to the Central Committee for the Communist Party in 1971. During this time, he supported the Premier Brezhnev, which won him strong influence within the government, and the next Premier, Andropov, expanded this power that he already had. He was not able to become Premier, however, after Andropov because of strong suspicions that others had with him within the party, so Chernenko was elected next. However, in March 1985, he was finally selected as Premier of the USSR. He intended to improve the relations with the U.S.
Meanwhile, he deteriorated his relationship with us.
I've always been suspicious of Gorbachev's idiotic free market economy and imprudent democracy. I mean, what has this imbecile gotten himself into now?
Well, here's the situation, sir. In order to improve the Soviet economy, Gorbachev felt that it would be necessary to have better relationships globally, including the U.S. The Soviet Union is beginning to fall primarily due to a series of revolutions. As we know, the first one took place in 1989 in Poland. The non-communist trade unions bargained with the communist government for freer elections. They were granted this. However, this sparked a series of peaceful uprisings throughout Eastern Europe. This included the Velvet Revolution in Czechoslovakia, where they were able to overthrow the communist government. In this same month, the Berlin Wall fell. Frustration with the poor economy and Gorbachev's lack of control over the Soviet satellite states evoked a series of independent movements in certain republics. The Baltic states, which are very important to the USSR, slowly began to declare their own independence. In December, the Republic of Belarus, the Russian Federation, and Ukraine broke from the USSR and created their own commonwealth. 8 of the 9 remaining republics have shown initiative to follow suit, leading to Gorbachev's resignation on Christmas just 2 days ago.
He said his action was inevitable. After 6.5 years in power, Mikhail Gorbachev confirmed his resignation on television tonight.
Я покидаю свой пост с тревогой, но и с надеждой, с верой в вас, вашу мудрость и силу духа. Мы наследники великой цивилизации, и сейчас от всех и каждого зависит, чтобы она возродилась к новой, современной и достойной жизни.
So it sounds like we're losing all our oil imports, and we have no one to sell our sugar to, and given that our economy is extremely dependent on those two services that the USSR formerly provided for us, I'm guessing we're in a bit of an economic crisis. That means the lost oil will not have any way to power production and industry. There's going to be a food shortage and decline.
And we won't have any power for transportation.
And with a failing economy, there'll surely be a mass exodus with the falling GDP and unemployment rates up, and I can't let this happen, not again.
It won't. We can stop it.
And how do you suppose we do that?
Well, to make up for the decline in food production, we can have more food programs. We'll gather food from state farms and get citizens to help cook some delicious food and hand out to everyone. People will love that.
True, but where are we going to get enough food to feed an entire country?
It's here, in the farms. With a little bit of creative thinking, we can find food anywhere. I'm sure zoo animals wouldn't mind a smaller population.
You can't honestly be suggesting we'd eat zoo animals. I mean, Isidoro, back me up here.
Well, to be quite frank, feeding our people is slightly more important than entertaining them with a zoo.
I'm not sure. There must be something we can do. I mean, we could change our crops, or we can enter the world market and trade with other countries. If the USSR wanted our sugar, the other countries must as well.
If we can afford it, other countries won't have the same price protection the USSR did.
A better solution might be reorganization of state farms and reintroduction of private land ownership.
Reintroduction of private land ownership? Well, why don't we just change our national anthem to the Star Spangled Banner? That might be less capitalist.
Okay, calm down. We can figure something else out. Like making rooftop gardens. The urban parts of the state are filled with concrete that are just waiting to be used. With beautiful, lush green gardens, we can replenish our food and make the country beautiful. And we can get some unemployed people or students to help out on the gardens.
And the transportation situation, sir?
This island's not that big. There must be more important things to worry about than transportation.
No transportation means no way of getting students and unemployed to the farms. No transportation means political and social backlash. This is something we need to worry about, Raul.
Okay, well, maybe we could get some help. Maybe in fact we can get help from another socialist country. The PRC's economy is looking pretty good.
The PRC might be a practical solution. Yang Shan-kan has shown plenty of willingness to work with us in the past. Maybe he'd want to help by giving us transportation.
Yes, he can supply us with bikes. People will happily bike all over the country. And I'm sure cardiovascular disease will decrease with all those healthy bikers.
It's a possibility. Isidoro?
I mean, our carbon footprint would decrease. However, a decrease in cardiovascular disease would probably go unnoticed due to a mass famine and food shortage.
We need to find a way around a famine. I will not let my people starve. There has to be some money in the budget for investment in agriculture.
Not only have no one to trade with, and with the dissolution of Comic-Con, we really have no fiscal reserve to tap into.
If we need government money, we could get it. We could get rid of universal health care and education.
Excuse me? Get rid of universal health care and education? The privatization of farms was one thing, but this? That is off the table! Universal health care and education has been the backbone of our socialist movement and a highlight of my rule. Without those programs, we don't hold up the ideals of this country.
Not to mention the societal unrest that will stir.
Okay, forgot I said it.
Look, we could go on forever about possible plans to combat the problems brought about by the collapse of the USSR. Meanwhile, our economy is slowly reaching its breaking point. Therefore, we need to stop arguing and act as soon as possible to limit the damages.
You're right, sir. The faster we decide what to do, the faster we can save Cuba. Now, which plans would you like to implement?
Farming. Famine and the economy are by far the biggest problems we're facing. That's where we need to start.
I couldn't agree more, brother.
Well, then it's settled. We'll begin our program for the reorganization of farms tomorrow morning.